It's Nicole and I'm back. This week I wanted to give you a tour of my preschool learning notebook for my 2 and 3-year-olds. I have activities that I'm working on this week for next Wednesday. That'll be more Black History Month themed and even some Valentine's Day themed activities. But today I just wanted to give you an overview on the workbook end of what we do every day in our preschool daily workbook. So here's our preschool workbook for 2014-2015. We use every day. It's been through a lot with the 2 and 3-year-old, but I just wanted to show you what we basically do every day before we even jump into our little hands-on activities. So my 3-year-old has a speech pathologist comes every other week and sees him. He talks a lot, but his clarity isn't that great. They call it an articulation concern, meaning that he doesn't articulate his words as well as he should for his age. He's a chatterbox. He talks all the time. Vocabulary is great. It's just sometimes you have to ask him to repeat himself quite a few times. So for speech, I have a speech pocket designed specifically for him. For when the speech therapist comes, she also always leaves an activity for him to do to practice before her next visit. So we are focusing on his pronunciation of the letter H for the past few months. He tends to cut the H off of words. So he'll say appy or ippo, and that's what it will sound like. So here is just his stuff for speech. She left a little Happy the Hippo book. It's an H book where, I read it to him and I ask him questions like, oh, what's that, a hippo? Is he happy or not? What's this on his up here? And he'll say hat, and I'll correct him if he doesn't pronounce it right. So it's about repetition and getting him to self-correct at this. So we also have something called a pacing board that she made for him. Very simple. If your kid talks really quickly and is not, it's hard to understand them, because that's another issue. He talks very quickly. He probably gets that from me. So this is called the pacing board. So what we'll do is we'll read a book, and I'll ask him, what do you see in that book? Or what is this a picture of? And he'll say, oh, it's a picture of a hippo, for example, with this book. It's a picture of a hippo. So I said, this is a hippo. And then I'll have him say it and point to each box as well. This is a hippo. And it forces him to slow down, because he actually has to take his time and point per word for each box. So that's called a pacing a pacer. So that's really good for if your kid is talking very quickly. And just more H words. I have him pronounce each word, and then we'll cover it with something. I have little hexagons because it also begins with the H, and I usually use a wooden hexagon. He'll cover. I'm like, hey, take a hexagon, and I'll have him say hexagon and make sure he goes hexagon. And a variety of things, word cards with words that begin with H that he actually colored the pictures, and I cut them out and we place them on here. So that's what he does for his speech. Here I have his sight words and readers. So I have sight word cards. These cards here are sight words. I don't want to take everything out. And I have some readers that go along with the sight words. I use this series, Meet the Sight Words word series. It has a DVD that comes with it, and it also has books that re-emphasize the sight words over and over and over again, and they generally love that. He can recognize his sight words very well visually, and then here we read the books over and over again, and I'll have him actually read them to me, because since he knows the sight words, he can visually recognize the words in the book. And I change out these readers every I don't know, I have 2 in here, maybe every week. I just change them out because I have a series of 12 that are on the level 1 for sight words. So I'll do a totally different video about this whole Meet the Sight Words thing another time. So here's my pre-K daily learning notebook, Confessions of the Homeschooler printable. I'll link that in the description box below. What time is it? We get out the big clock. I show them the hour that we are in, if it's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and then I'll have him try to write as best as he can 10 o'clock, and then we talk about the temperature outside. I can tell him temperature, but again, he's 3. I'll just say either it's very cold outside, so what type of clothes do we wear today, and then he'll color his little self in with whatever color kind of clothes he wants. I use dry erase markers or dry erase crayons for that, and it's in a sheet protector so I can easily wipe it off. Then we do some handwriting practice where he will just trace these just to get his fine motor skills together. He'll trace his name 1 or 2 times here on the dotted lines, and then I'll also have him practice without the dotted lines over here. These are labeled by month, but we don't do it by month. I just use it for the lines and then just for him to get some practice writing his name and then some free writing with his name. This week we're doing letter E and F for handwriting and for phonics. He knows all of his letter sounds, but I'm really just going back over the letter sounds for pre-reading purposes and just so that he can tighten up and get his handwriting going. So we'll do E and F this week. We've been doing E and F. So he'll trace it, color in the pictures, and trace it again. Then we have tangrams. We always do the letter tangrams for whatever letters we're doing the week. We use the handwriting without tears curriculum so that kind of guides us as to the order that we're doing the letters in. With handwriting without tears, they do letters in order of not your A, B, C, D, E, F, G order, but in order of what is easiest to write. So E and F, we actually are starting over again because he's done all his letters so far this year, but I'm doing them over again so we can get additional practice, and because his 2-year-old brother is actually showing interest in writing now, so I've had him join us in this. So E and F are the easiest because they're nothing but straight lines. So E and F. For the tangrams, we have the little wooden pieces. I take them out and they do the E and F. And then these sheets, I've seen them in a number of YouTube videos for moms with preschoolers. These are really great number practice sheet. They can trace the number, write the number, color the word, color the number of stars, and then show on the 10 frame the amount of the number. So you can change this up and make this something that works every month seasonally. What we've been using is we've been using these baby bear counters lately because they're new to us, so the kids are obsessed. When something's new, they want to use it all the time. So these bear counters are usually really great, and he'll just put, if we did number 1, he just put one bear in the box for the 10s frame, and that's it. And it goes 1 through 10. I do believe this principle there's a separate section to this printable that's 11 to 20 that I'm working on printing out, but this is what he's doing so far. We can also use, this month I went to the Dollar Tree and I got these little hearts, these little heart gems for table scatter, and since February is the month of love, they will start using these on his little 10 frame. Ooh, yeah. So we'll put those on there. Ooh. And then we have 11 to 20. And so what he does with this is that he will write it, trace it, count each dot, and then place an item on each circle. So that would be 11 little hearts here, just so he can understand the quantity of that. So that's my 3-year-old section of the workbook. And over here I have my 2-year-old section. His tracing sheet is a lot less complex, you know, bigger movements, bigger strokes, because he's still tightening up his fine motor skills for tracing. He too has an E and an F tracing sheet, which he likes to scribble on. He traces these pretty well when he's focused, and then the rest he kind of just goes crazy. But, you know, he's developing that interest in it. And then his counting sheets are 1 through 10. 10, and he does the same thing. You don't really pay much attention to this down here, but it's more tracing the number 1, counting 1, putting one little jewel on the 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. And for him, for his name practice, very simple, just a piece of cardstock that I folded in half so it kind of stands up like a tent if I needed to, but you get the point. And what he does is he just traces each letter with his finger. Then we say, what letter is this? And he'll say K. What letter A? What letter L? What letter E? What letter B? And he'll go, what sound is K making? K says K. We sing a little K says K song. A says ah. L says ooh, whatever, whatever. And then I have puzzle pieces, letter puzzle pieces that he can match up to each letter on here so that he understands how to spell his name before he can really, you know, write it. So that's pretty it. That's pretty much it. The boys have gotten up in the middle of this video, but pretty much this is our kindergarten daily workbook. I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I hope you guys have a great day. Have a happy Wednesday.